we are researching into various areas. And one of the areas that I specifically am researching into for my doctoral studies is university education learning systems in contemporary Africa. And GKI is my case study. So I interview people who are with GKI, who have an experience with GKI, to find out what they think about GKI as a university education learning system. So you being the student there and working on the research component with those tablets that you'll be doing and things like that, and with the experiences you've had so far, I'm simply interested in finding out what do you think? What the experiences have been, that's all. The first question is, do you think GKI way of learning qualifies to be a university education learning system? And if you think so, why you don't think so?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yes. Because of the methods that are used in terms of the learning process, and I think the quality of the educational programs that are offered by GKI, so it qualifies to be university standards.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, first and foremost, I think the people, the personnel that GKI has are qualified people and very interactive. They were, for instance, through the introduction sessions that we had, they were able to give the students a platform to learn and discover things on their own. And yeah, very interactive and professional at the same time. And also there was that personal touch to whatever they were doing. Yes, that is what I really loved about their way of delivering the information. It was not just about what they had to give, but what the students had to bring on the table. Yes, it would be a very good way of learning at university level, and would be sustainable, because I think students of nowadays would want something like that. Something that would give them a platform to look at current issues as they are affecting them. Because I think when you look at the kind of education that we got at university level, it was just going to a lecture room, you sit and listen to this person talking, you take note of whatever they are saying, you have to submit assignments, and then they grade you. But then, with the different kind of methods that were being used, for instance, that were mostly involving the students, it would be something that students would feel like they are part of, and not just feel like, no, because I have to be graded and get a particular qualification at the end of the day, but then they will be feeling like they are being part of the program that they are undertaking. So at the universities that we've been to, for instance, there were no things like maybe you're put in a discussion within a lecture or within a class, within a session. You are not put into a group to maybe discuss whatever it is that you're learning about. And even the technology was not so much used. That's what I think. I don't know about today, but the technology was not so much used in the learning process, and students were not fully involved. So I think considering the fact that we are in a technological era, I think it would be very good to use methods that involve technology, and also make sure that the students are part of the learning process. Okay, these universities, of course, offer certain qualifications that one study, and it kind of provides some kind of formal education. But then I think there's so much difference, because when you look at most universities in Zambia, they are more on the theoretical part than the practical part, which I think I've already highlighted, because usually you just learn from the batches. You have to read books, of course, and go to a lecture. You listen to the lecturers talking. There's not so much of going into maybe personal conversations. There's no going into the fields outside there. Maybe those that are dealing in practical subjects, but when you look at the educational point of view, most of the classes are done just indoors, they are theoretical. But when you look at GKI, I think they are very, very practical.
So it appears as a student you feel that you have been integrated in the system.
Yes.
Now this integration, what role do you think you'll be playing within this system?
First thing, as a teacher, just disseminate the information of what it is that I'm getting from GKI. Yes, because I can learn a lot of concepts and different methods, but then if I do not disseminate or share what I learn with others, it will kind of just remain out there. So my role would be to disseminate the information or to share that which I learn with my students or pupils and my fellow teachers and those that are around me, because I think what I'm learning goes beyond people that are in the teaching fraternity. And it's about me sharing with the others and ensuring that we have a better way of getting information in our society and maybe a better way of learning. And at the end of the day, we improve and develop our.
And how do you see the community benefiting from this work?
Firstly, from the learners themselves. If I share something with my learners, it means most likely they will be able to share with their families. And maybe in a way of getting information, like you are saying, I'm sure maybe we'll have to get the consent from the parents and the guardians from these learners to be able to provide that information that we require. But if you are getting something good and you go, wherever you go, you would want to share it. That's how I feel. As maybe a student or a group that are doing this research, there will be a point when we will not only consider our pupils, but we'll consider the community that is around us. I remember one of the things we were looking at during the training was the grant writing, which was something that really opened our minds, that we thought you don't have to really maybe go out there to get something done. You can easily come up with a plan and mobilize resources and make a difference in a community. Because this is one thing that I learned about GKI and their research, that it's not just about coming up with a report, it's about maybe finding a solution to a particular problem in a society where you are. So if we come up with a project, for instance, that is going to help our community, definitely they will benefit from that. For a start, it must start with me.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to see something happen, you have to start it yourself.
Yes.
So my contribution will have to start with me as an individual. And I know it will obviously go to my workplace.
Yeah.
So I have to contribute to my pupils, my fellow teachers, because I believe with what I am learning already, if more teachers have this information, or they are able to at least learn something from the programs that we have, there will be a great difference. And I see a lot of maybe positive things coming forth in our education system if we use some of the methods that we have been discussing and just talking about certain issues in the education system. So it's at the school level, community level, definitely that we are heading towards that.
Yeah.
I strongly feel we have an environment that is receptive, and they will be able, as long as because I feel like this is something good that somebody cannot just say no to. So if it's something good, unless the person is not really.
So how much time do you think you'll be devoting to your work?
How much time? I wouldn't measure time, but what I would say is when I give myself a particular duty, or I'm given a duty and accept it, I give it my full attention. And this one, because of what's at stake and how much I'm loving it, I think I'll give it all my time.
Yeah, so
as much time as I can.
I'm just curious. We have so many universities in Zambia right now.
Yes.
That are mushrooming. The University of Zambia itself, the oldest and biggest university in the country, has expanded its programs trying to enroll many. Why didn't you enroll with any of those that decided to roll for this program at GKI?
Wow. Maybe I wanted something different. I was actually thinking, if I must say, I was thinking about applying University of Zambia next year. But then when I saw the difference in terms of approach, and I think there are so many advantages for me to be part of GKI than going to any other university around, because of the things that I've already mentioned. I want to do something new, something different, not the usual things that I hear about. Actually, what I really wanted initially was I wanted to do my studies somewhere else, just to have a different view of things. Because you may think this is the best way of learning, like we always do in Zambia. Say this is the way things are. But then elsewhere, there's a different experience. I wanted to have a different experience.
So we are having that experience.
Already, yes.
I see. Now, given the things you've said you have learned and those you haven't mentioned, and your entire process of participation, how has it affected your view of university education learning system? Has your view changed, or it has remained the same?
It has actually. I think it has changed, and I wish the universities could also think like I'm thinking right now.
Okay.
Because, when you look at Zambian education system from maybe primary level up to high school, we teach and learn in order to maybe get into tertiary level, and the same way that the pupils learn maybe at secondary school doesn't change so much with what they do at the university level. It's still something that is theoretical and a bit of practical subjects, of course, but then it's throughout theory, and pupils or students are never given that chance to really think critically. So for me, I feel like a student who's coming from a university must be able to be practical and also to be critical. And that I did not really see it at university, but now I see it. When students graduate from universities, for instance, and they get out there, they get jobs, but then they say they underperform. I've heard some comments from my fellow teachers, that even say, these graduates, some graduates, of course, these graduates, they don't know how to teach. They don't know how, they don't have the methodologies. All sorts of comments. Yeah. Simply because maybe they did not really get those methodologies as people expect them.
I see. So now you mean, I just want to get a clarification here. You talked about performance. You say people complaining that graduates from the universities are underperforming. So are you saying that right now you're already feeling that your performance with your participation in the GKI process and programs, your performance is definitely going to go high?
Yes, there's no question about that actually. Because
the methodology
it's simplified.
Yeah.
It's not complicated. It's just something very simple, but because maybe the curriculum, or because the policies do not use that, teachers would not go beyond what maybe they are told to do. But then with what we have learned so far, believe me, my lessons would not be the same, because I now know that maybe the learners, maybe special needs and special abilities have to be considered in my class. I don't just have to go there and teach and get out of class without considering who's able to do this, who's not able to do this, how do they assimilate the information that I'm giving them, all that. But because of the knowledge that I have now, that I have to put all that into consideration in order to ensure that my pupils are able to get what I'm teaching them, it will be different. So if we had maybe universities using this method, or the methods that are being used by GKI at higher level, it means we're going to have teachers or graduates that will get out of university knowing that they have to teach in a certain way that is going to ensure that the learners.
So do you feel that you're now more creative? What I mean is, do you feel that you have room to explode your creativity? Or actually, now you feel that your creativity is being thwarted?
Of course, I feel like I'm going to explode. Yeah, because not to say that I was not creative, but then my options have been widened up. I know that there's so much that I can do within my classes, and I just feel like I have that chance to actually just do different kind of things. And they
so now, assume.
Yeah, with me, what I experienced that the type of experience which I saw during our training is that GKI institution studies, they are better than the residential ones, because you are at your school, and then it's like the practicals start just as you start the course, because you are with the pupils, you are with the community. Unlike where someone goes to a place, you are completed there, then most of the work that is done there is just background information, and then there is little time for teaching class.
Yeah. So do you think this way of learning can be sustainable in the Zambian context?
Yes, because most of the younger people now, they are very interested in technology, and it's only that most of the technology is used for ways which cannot help. But if this technology can be used in education, it can help a lot. It can be sustainable.
And already you've mentioned one difference in terms of the learning with other traditional universities or that are existing. What other similarities or differences have you already seen that are there between the GKI learning system and other universities in Zambia or elsewhere?
The similarities are that all of them are earmarked for someone to obtain a paper. But then the difference is that GKI studies, they are more practical and more educative, because they also give a chance for someone to reason or to think critically. Unlike where someone is just writing something, sometimes it may not be his own ideas. It may be according to the work, the question, which is just driving towards the information which is needed.
And what role do you feel really you'll be playing in this whole GKI system, learning system?
The role that I will be playing, according to our experience, is that I will be researching, and then I will get a lot of information from the community. Then at the same time, where I feel there must be help, like I will give an example of water. We can make sure that we source for funds to help the community.
And looking looking at this role that you'll be playing, what contribution do you think you'll really be making, and to who?
Yeah, the contribution that I will make is that I will gain a lot of experience, and then that experience it will teach me more of what is taking place in the society. Unlike where we just see things like that, but if we get concerned, we research, we interview some people, then we get to know people more than the way we see them. Then we come to understand them, and then those who need help, we can be able to look for ways of helping them.
So as a teacher, being a teacher, do you see this process to be of value, and in which way?
Yeah, this process is of value because as a teacher, I want to be able to move away from the school system, because I will continue teaching, and as I teach, to be part of my work, to strengthen my teaching, and also to teach in different using different methods, which must motivate pupils so that they like my subjects very much.
Now, what do you think community people think about you, or your fellow teachers, or your fellow participants in GKI, looking at this contribution you're highlighting, so you'll be able to make?
Yeah, the society, I think they will look at me as a resource person. They will look at me as someone who can assist in the system, someone who has the knowledge. As I mentioned that we can even maybe start by looking at a problem in the society, of which after solving that problem, people who have trust that this problem has been solved, and then they will really trust the people concerned. Well, they will see that what is being done is not just getting information, but it's getting information which must be used for the benefit of the society.
Yeah, now, you're a person of so much diverse experience. You have been well exposed. Why did you decide to enroll with GKI and not the University of Zambia, for example, University of Lusaka, Cavendish University, or Copperbelt University?
Yeah, with me, the first time that you came to the school when we were talking to us, what came into my mind is that I came to realize that I need more information in teaching, because I saw that we have a lot of meetings sometimes in the school. Sometimes these meetings are not successful. We have CPD meetings in the school, but you find that sometimes teachers, some people are busy here and there. Then you find that the knowledge, the actual knowledge that teachers need is not actually got. Then you find that this information that you brought, I found that some teachers were sent to Malaysia, but when they came here to teach them, of course they could not teach all the teachers. They just concentrated teachers for science and mathematics. But then I saw that this information is going to help, because it's talking about teaching using different methods. It is talking about the curriculum, because the curriculum also needs to be reframed in such a way that it is practical, and then it is towards making the pupils to know what they are supposed to do, other than just making the pupils to pass. Because this time what is happening is that teachers are aiming at just covering the syllabus, and then the pupils are also aiming at just passing. After they have passed, you find that the knowledge cannot help them. We talk about pupils, those who are doing industrials. I don't see anyone, maybe those who are in Chongo, to say maybe is running a carpentry workshop, but it's like it's just for passing. We find them, they have done some things, joints, they have learned how to join something, but I don't see them making something that we can see, that the society can value.
Well, So how much time will you be devoting to this work?
Yeah, for this course, what I've seen that each time that I start off from home to go for work,
Yeah.
I look at it to say, it is there to open my mind, to look for ways of adding more to the value of the course. Because as I meet people, some research work may be needed as I'm moving, and then I'll meet people, then I'll be able to get a lot of information from them.
And do you think your efforts and the time you devote will be rewarded?
Yes, it will be very rewarding because I'll have learned more by the end of the course. I feel the stage that I'll be after completing the course, I feel I'll be more knowledgeable.
What other benefits do you think there might be in the future, apart from the knowledge and the change in the communities that you're looking at making for your research?
The other benefits, I think, as we go on, because since we shall be the first people, I think we shall be needed in all areas concerning workshops, concerning teacher education, motivational talks. I think it will be more helpful. Because the most important thing is that when people are engaged in something, they must be motivated. So we shall have that educational language, that motivational language that will make learners to be more interested in education.
So what generally, I know there you have already highlighted so many things, but what would be the key main things you would pinpoint to say, as a participant, I have learned this, this and that. As a student at GKI, this is what I've learned. As a teacher, this is what I've learned.
So as a teacher, by the end of the program, I'll have learned how to motivate the pupils. I'll have learned how to use methods that can make learners to be interested in education and to be very much involved in the lesson, so that the learners are more active. Then I will have also learned how to make learners think critically. So the learners that I will be teaching, they will be learners that they will, after they have learned something. Unlike the way it is now, when a pupil is writing something, he's just writing something which is just in line with the material, and then cannot give his own view or her own view. So learners will have an opportunity to think in their own ways.
To thank the visiting professors most sincerely from our hearts for being so selfless and coming to Zambia to share their knowledge. We also thank John, Zizi, Alec for the selfless spirit that they have displayed before us. These are our Zambian role models, and we are following right behind you. We have learned and we've been empowered. We came here not knowing so much about collaborative learning, but this evening we are living with that empowerment in our minds. We are saying thank you once again to Gwen, Susan, who made us very comfortable. They saw to it that we got the knowledge that they wanted to empower us with. We also would like to thank Natasha for her efforts in making sure that we are fully satisfied. Natasha, this club is all for you. You've shown us what a leader does. Then when I look at the Chongwe secondary teachers, they have been so friendly.
friend.
We've known each other for 10 years. That's for you. You can see the way Alec and Zizi are laughing. You are the You're the real men. That is what we want in Zambia. So we are hoping that this program won't just end with Chibombo and Chongwe, that it will go beyond the borders of Zambia and empower not just Central Province, but all the provinces in Zambia. Teachers need to learn about this program. So we thank you once again. So this is for you. Thank you.